Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and I'm here with another reading vlog. One of my goals this year has been to try and get through more of my physical TBR. Generally, I've been trying to get it down to below 50 and then next year hopefully I can get like the rest of the way through it, but that is what felt reasonable for the amount of books that I read. And for how much I read from my library. I've been trying to come up with some fun ways to help me decide what to get to next on my physical TBR because it's a lot of books to decide from. So I thought today we would read the highest and lowest rated books on my physical TBR based off their Goodreads ratings. There are a few books that I have not included in this. So for example, I've only included the next book in a series that I need to read, not the whole series obviously. Or there's a handful of books that I have pretty specific reading plans for, and so those are not included in this list either. But of the books that were eligible on my physical TBR, the lowest rated book on my physical TBR with a 3.31 rating is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. This is the sequel to To Kill a Mockingbird, which to be honest, I didn't even know that this was a book or like there was a sequel until quite recently actually, which maybe I'm just living under a rock, but I also never took the class in high school that required you to read To Kill a Mockingbird, so I didn't read it till I was an adult. I apparently did not research it well. But this one's set like several years later, like you're following Scout from the original book. She's now 26. So quite a few years later, you're kind of following her as an adult. And I have actually started this book just a little bit. I'm not super far into it, but it sounds like she's dealing with her dad. His health is declining, things like that. I actually think I'm going to primarily listen to this as an audiobook just because I do have other stuff I need to get done that I could listen to an audiobook this week. And so I need an audiobook going, so I figured I'd do this. It's also read by Reese Witherspoon, which is kind of fun. I was a little surprised to see how low this was. Just in general, I feel like my list of classics were all pretty low ratings in comparison to some of the other books. But yeah, this is my lowest rated book on my physical TBR at the moment. So I'm gonna read it and I'll let you know my thoughts at the end. And then the highest rated eligible book with a 4.51 rating is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. This is also a second book. This is the second book in the Red Rising series, I guess first trilogy, however you want to put that. This is a sci-fi series, kind of dystopian, where humanity has basically colonized Mars and you have this super extreme class system, and we're following one of the characters from like the lowest of the low class in this system as he kind of gets involved in some stuff. Is as much as I'll say. I feel like it's a little bit of a spoiler to say more. I'll be honest, I didn't love Red Rising, which I feel like a lot of people, like, it is getting so much hype on the internet right now. It wasn't my favorite. My husband loved it. Like, and this is the main reason why I'm continuing the series, is because he really loves the series. He's read all the books that are out. I just didn't really like the main character. He's kind of annoying to me, and I don't feel like we saw a lot of the side characters. The plot was kind of weird, but it's hard to discuss that without spoiling things. So I don't know. I'm not feeling overly excited. This is kind of a book I've been putting off for a while. I wasn't super thrilled to read it, so it's probably good that I'm doing this to give myself a push to actually get to this book, because I think I would continue putting it off for forever if I didn't have something like this tell me to read it. So these are going to be the two books in this video. We'll see if this one's worth the hype. Maybe the series will get better and I'll like it more as we go. We'll see. I'm gonna go get reading and I will let you know when I have some thoughts. Okay, I'm about a quarter of the way through both of these books. I'm moving at about the same rate through them, so thought I'd give you a little quarter of the way update and then I'll read some more and we'll check in later. But so far, again, I'm about a quarter of the way through the book. All that's happened is she has come home to visit for I'm not sure how long, and we find out that she's dating like very seriously some guy that I think is from the first book, but I don't really remember him. It doesn't even say in the description. Henry? Why can't I remember his name? I guess I could look here. Henry. She's dating Henry, who, again, don't really remember from the first book that well. I did watch a plot recap. It wasn't very helpful, apparently. Anyways, he's like proposed to her, but she's like not sure she wants to get married. And then they're just kind of driving around. It's been literally one day, and she has spent most of this book just like reminiscing on stories from her childhood that we didn't see in To Kill a Mockingbird. So that's all that's really happened so far. I'm waiting for it to have a bit more of a point. Like, I feel like To Kill a Mockingbird is so frequently read because of the social commentary, and this one acts like it's going to be talking about like the civil rights movement and stuff, but I've yet to see that really in this book. So I don't know, it's going okay. Golden Sun, I really could have used a plot recap of some sort. It's been not quite a year, maybe a year since I read Red Rising, so it's taken me a minute to kind of remember vaguely who people are. Some of the characters I did remember. I'm having some of the same issues that I had with the first book, where I'm just not sure that I really care what's going on. I think I've decided what my big problem is with these books, and this is a slight spoiler. I don't really know how much it says on the back of the book of Red Rising about this, but if you don't want any spoilers at all from Red Rising, I will put a thing on the screen so you can skip. But I think my issue is that we're supposed to be following this revolution, right? And he's supposed to be part of the revolutionaries, and then he gets put into this role where he's like infiltrating the upper, like the golds, and then we never see anything else from the rest of the revolution. So we spend the entire first book getting to know all of these people who are supposed to be the enemy, and we never get to know the rest of the revolutionaries. So I have no connection whatsoever to any of these other people in the revolution. I have way more of a connection to people in the golds. So I'm no longer really rooting for the revolution because I don't know any of them. And then we step into this book and they have kind of gone extreme. And I think from some stuff that has happened, maybe Darrow is going to, again, how do I do this without spoilers? I think we're going to get a bit of a different plot line going on, and I'm interested in where we're going now. We'll see. It's about to get a little more complicated, and I think that's going to help my enjoyment of this book. I think I just have felt like it was supposed to be this revolution book, and I just felt totally detached from that storyline, and so I didn't care. And I think we're getting into some stuff that I'm a little more interested in, and I still don't know that I care a ton at all. I also have a prediction to make about where I think the plot line is going. I don't think this is a spoiler because I don't actually know if this is true or not, but my prediction as of a quarter of the way through book 2 is that the reason people divide these into a first and second trilogy is that Darrow's gonna die at the end of book 3. That's my prediction of what his character arc is. I think he dies and then we move on to following different characters. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. My prediction is that Darrow definitely dies at the end. And I wouldn't be mad about it. I don't really like him. So I'd be okay with that being his story arc. I think he's gonna end up being a martyr, and that's where I foresee his character ending up. No clue if that's right or not, but I'm doing okay with this book. I'm into the flow now, so I think it'll start going a lot faster, but yeah. Still not fully engaged in the story. Alrighty, I'm here to finish off this video. I have finished both of these books. Where to start? I think I'm gonna start with Red Rising because I did technically finish that one first. This one was interesting. I definitely enjoyed this book better than the first one. I feel like our main character Darrow just got a lot more complicated. We got a lot more depth to him than we did in the first book. The first one he was very just like angry, and that was his only personality trait. That being said, I think my main problem with this book is I'm just frustrated with the author. And I thought at first when I finished this book, I was like, oh, it like got me really engaged. I'm feeling some like strong emotions about this book. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't think that I was actually feeling those strong emotions about the characters in the book or like what happened in the book necessarily as much as I'm feeling those strong emotions towards the author. I'm just getting so annoyed with this whole he can't trust anybody, everybody's gonna betray him, he can't keep his friends kind of a thing. I'm just like, can we pick a different source of conflict? Like every major betrayal, every major like plot conflict point I feel like has come from him thinking he could trust someone and then them betraying him. And I just am ready for us to move on from that. Like, can we just figure out who our friends are and who our enemies are and move forward? Like, it's just, and maybe it's just these books are just too long. Like, I get that that is like a real conflict thing and like, I don't know. And I'm just not invested enough for these betrayals to actually like feel like somebody betrayed them. I don't know. I just am a little sick of it and I'm ready for them to like move on. I think I will give this series one more book and I will finish like the first trilogy. And if I'm still just really not engaging in the book and nothing's keeping me entertained, I will probably stop at that point. There is literally only one thing that I'm curious about that from how this book ended that makes me want to read the next book. Everything else I'm kind of just like, okay. I honestly have lost interest at this point in whether or not they successfully pull off this revolution. I just really don't care. I don't know. It's kind of lost me. So I don't know. I know Red Rising series is getting all the hype and everybody loves it so much. And this is maybe a really unpopular opinion, but I just don't get it. I just cannot get invested in these characters and I'm just getting annoyed with it at this point. So that was Red Rising. Go Set a Watchman. I think that this one was good. I don't know that I agree with it being rated so harshly. That being said, not a lot happens in this book. So I don't know. It's one of those things where if I were to rate it and compare it to all the books I've ever read, I would not rate it very highly. But compared to all the classics I've read, I think this was actually pretty good for what it was. I just think you can't compare it to like fantasy or sci-fi books, you know? Really the biggest thing that I thought got me engaged was towards the end. Scout really has this whole moment of realizing her dad is human. And I think that that was one of the big conversations in this book is when you grow up and become an adult and all of a sudden your parents are no longer this like distant godlike figure. They're just another human and you like your parents have to fall in your eyes at some point. And she's going through that in this book as she realizes that her dad is not perfect and he has faults and he's just human. And I thought that that part was really good. And maybe it's just because I'm at an age where I feel like that's a pretty recent thing. I feel like I am re-navigating. I mean, I think everybody goes through this. Like you're re-navigating your relationship with your parents now that you're both adults and there's no longer such a power dynamic difference between you. I think that that's just something that everybody goes through. So if you're in like your young adult age range, like how old is she? She's 26. I'm 26 right now. So that part was very relatable to me. I think that this was like good timing to read this book. The first half of the book I felt like kind of dragged till it got to the point of this, but she's really, a lot of it is Scout struggling just in general with re-entering into her like hometown where she grew up as an adult with adult eyes, having stepped away for a while and coming back with a difference of opinions from the majority of the town that she grew up in and her navigating that. And I think it is some really interesting conversations. So I think that this one is actually probably underrated on Goodreads. I think that if you're looking at it from like a classic standpoint of like it made me think and it brought up a lot of interesting topics, I think it was really good. If you're looking at it from like how enjoyable was this book to read, it was a little meh. So would recommend the audiobook though. I feel like Reese Witherspoon did a very good job with it. There's a lot of like singing things in there, or like little kid rhymes. Lots of it is her like remembering, like her reminiscing on her childhood. So you get a lot of scenes from her childhood and stuff, and I don't know, I think Reese did a very good job with it. So that's my highest and lowest rated books on my physical TBR. Let me know what your thoughts are if you've read either of these books. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.